Shalom. Want to start off by giving all praise, glory, honor due unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Bakakudash. Double honors to the apostles and elders who bring me enough respect to the brothers teaching and preaching the truth all over the globe worldwide. To the few brothers and sisters who is listening, learning, and taking notes, to understand what's going on and to stay close to Yahweh Shem Al Shah. To you, I'll give us the sincere Shalom. Coming back at you with another lesson. And basically, this lesson is coming off RT News. And this is shows the exposure of the United States, per se. Babylon the Great, going the failure over there in Afghanistan. This Afghanistan news has been, the talk of, basically every news station, in America. But this also exposed Esau Edom, so-called white man, shows that, as the scriptures say, that he's a proud man, now that he keep it, he keep it home, meaning that he has to go to everybody's country, top of their government, sell to puppet leaders, trying to force their democracy upon the other nations. Saying why? Because he wants everybody to basically come under that new world order. If you read in the Genesis, going back into the time of Nimrod, that's what he was trying to do, because the scriptures say that Nimrod was a mighty hunter before Yahweh Shem Al Shah. And you probably like, what do you mean by that? What they have to do with anything. Well, if you look at it, this devil is actually doing the same thing, because this devil, he wants to have everybody come under the umbrella of that new world order, as Nimrod did. Nimrod was trying to, defy Yahweh Shem Al Shah, along with his men. And he led, he leading that rebellion, and it failed miserably. That's what these devils want to do. They want the whole world to look to them as Yahweh Shem Al Shah. And they also, Esau, so-called white man, also want to lead a rebellion against Yahweh Shem Al Shah. As it says in the scriptures that there's war in heaven, and this devil, he's gonna also try to prevent the second coming of Yahweh Shah Mashiach. Him and these heathen nations, they gonna first fight with each other. They're going to fight against each other. But then when Yahushua comes back, they're going to stop fighting each other. And their focus is going to be fighting Yahushua and his angels. But for those in the truth, we already know how their outcome going to be. They're going to fail miserably. But getting back to the point, and getting back to the article, this whole Afghanistan fiasco has been a total failure. Because they've been over there, for 20 years, over 20 years, and what have they accomplished, by them being over there? The same people that they're trying to liberate Afghanistan from the Taliban, as they said, is the same Taliban that's running Afghanistan right now, and they, we all know at the end of the day that this is a coup, that this is leading to some type of rebellion, fighting. We all know what this is leading to, but nevertheless but this is part of the story of Yahweh Shem Al Shah, because sooner or later, then you got the quote-unquote Americans is all pissed off, because you got a whole bunch of Afghan, quote-unquote refugees are basically coming over here to the United States. and what that's going to do is that's going to typically that's going to start, real major tensions over here in Babylon the Great, because these devils they're going to use that and say that these people that's over here that came from Afghanistan are over here causing conflict, which we know that this place is already divided anyway. Well, you probably, what all this has to do with what's going on in Afghanistan? Because that fiasco over there, them being over there 20 years, it was a total failure. Because look at the withdrawal. You know what I'm saying? Look how messed up things really are. You know what I'm saying? Because these Afghans ain't been liberated by the Taliban at all, man. Because you got the Taliban is basically retaking over, Afghanistan, and they pretty much, you know what I'm saying, and you got people are pretty much celebrating the victory of the Taliban. You know what I'm saying? That this culture that the West has, which is Babylon the Great, is worse than slavery. And I believe that's one of the Afghan leaders that said that. You know what I'm saying? They praise, the victory of the Taliban. Because these people know the mindset and the culture of this Western society. You know what I'm saying? It all is against Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shah. You know what I'm saying? And these people are tired of that mindset. They're tired of that culture. Because they know that culture ain't did nothing but damage their people. That mindset is a total failure. In establishing, order and everything. Because this place, Babylon the Great, you know what I'm saying, it's anti-Messiah. It is against order. It is against the ways of Yahweh Hashem al-Shah. But getting back to this article, it reads, declassified files expose how U.S. officials saw collapse coming after 20 years of failure in Afghanistan. And this is more exposure on Esau Edom, the so-called white man, and well is Babylon the Great, showing its decline in power because, Esau Edom, so-called white man is linked to Babylon the Great, because he is the ruling power that rules this particular nation of Babylon the Great. And you see that his power is on the decline, as his power being on the decline, you see the fall of America as well, because America and Esau Edom is linked, with one with another. You know what I'm saying? Because this place, is on the decline. Esau Edom's power is on the decline, and the world leaders, all these heathen nations like Iran and Russia and China, all our enemies see that the United States is on the decline. And you know what I'm saying? And they're laughing and making fun of Babylon the Great because as they look, you look at it, as one of the people saying about watching Fox News last night, he's saying that it makes it seem like that Babylon the Great, aka America, ran with his head between his legs, something to that effect. But nevertheless, though, this is just another, salt on the wound of you Edomites, man, showing you that your wisdom is foolish. Did not Jeremiah chapter 49 verse 7 say, is there any wisdom in Teman? It's showing that your wisdom is pretty much foolishness, man. And look at what's going on throughout the world. Look at what's going on with this Afghanistan situation, man. They look at this, they look at being in Afghanistan after 20 years, they see it as a failure. Because if you look at, you ask the question, what was accomplished by them going to Afghanistan, really nothing hasn't changed, man. It just, after they left, Taliban just came in and they retook the land like they did before. You know what I'm saying? Nothing hasn't changed. Any of that was on the exception that you had the American, you had American, quote unquote Americans over there trapped over there in Afghanistan. You know what I'm saying? And then you got these quote unquote, Americans, pretty much the leaders of Babylon the Great, they don't have a clue on how they're gonna get these people out of there, man. They had no answers, they had no clues. In all honesty, they really don't even care. Let's just call it for what it is. You know what I'm saying? Because if they actually cared, they would have a plan to put in place to quietly, withdraw the troops out of there. And you know what I'm saying? It's just a mess. I'm not gonna continue to ramble on, but at the end of the day, this place is falling, man. And it shows it's falling on every level. You can read that in Revelation 18:4. You know what I'm saying? Because this devil has made the whole world drink of his false philosophies, of his wine, his false doctrine, and it's failing on a major level. But let's continue with the article, and it reads: the extent of America's Afghan calamity is shown in 20 declassified documents published by the National Security Archive. They reveal an alarming presence of the outcome, and that George W. Bush didn't know who was in charge. Collectively, the files traced and often shocking detail precisely what went wrong, how and when, and the extent to which this was consistently and deliberately hidden from the public. You know what I'm saying? But we all know at the end of the day, it was all about their resources. It was never about liberating the people from what they were going through. But we all know what Esau's about, man. For those of the truth, we know that he's all about stealing resources. You know what I'm saying? And setting up public leaders to, so they can, bow to the demands of Esau Edom, to the global elite bankers, and to steal their resources. We all know what this is about. But let's continue. And it reads, take for instance a March 2002 memo authorized by Donald Rumsfeld, in which the then Defense Secretary demanded an urgent meeting with the Pentagon officials, and as he was concerned, the U.S. mission in Afghanistan was drifting. As the archive records later that same day, Rumsfeld conducted a lengthy interview with MSNBC in which he forcefully asserted the war has been long worn and dismissed any suggestions Washington should negotiate with remaining Taliban insurgents. It said the only thing that you can do is to bomb them and try to kill them. And that's what we did, and it worked. They're gone. And the Afghan people are a lot better off, he said. But basically, this is what the devil was always known to do. He used his blessing of sword. If you don't bow down to his demands, what I'm saying, he's going to just basically use the sword to kill you. That was the devil's all about at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? And what I'm saying, what did the scripture say? That he's a proud man. He keep it at home. You know what I'm saying? Because he has to go on other people's lands. You know what I'm saying? He has to take their resources. He has to set up a yes man, which is a puppet leader. And he has to you know what I'm saying, he wants control of everything. You know what I'm saying? Not only the resources, he wants to control other people. You know what I'm saying? He wants to control of your mind. This devil wants to be Yahweh Shem Al Shah at the end of the day. He wants to be the Most High. He wants to S out the Most High and His Son, and He wants you to look to Him as the Most High. That's what this is all about at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? And it reads, in a perverse irony, another memo. In a perverse irony, another memo issued 3 months later may well have signed the Afghan mission death warrant. In it, Rumsfeld asked one of its top aides to give about giving a chunk of money to Pakistan so that they could really fight the war on terror. So it was that billions were sent over to Islamabad by Washington over the next decade to bankroll its contribution to the fight against Al-Qaeda and the Taliban. And the thing about it, they probably say they ain't got no money, but they constantly send billions of dollars over there to these other nations, man. That shows you that these people don't even care about their own infrastructure and things over here in Babylon the Great. They with to fund these other nations, for war and all this stuff. But let's continue. And it reads, a large portion of the fund was misused and indeterminate amount may well have financed the very groups that were meant to be fighting. It said Pakistan's role in supporting the Afghan insurgency is referred in a lengthy email written in August in that year by a Green Beret member of a commando team hunting high-value targets, which was circulated throughout the Pentagon at the highest level. The author asserted that Al-Qaeda were regrouping in the Southwest with the connivance of a few disgruntled junior warlords and the double-dealing Pakistanians. The shooting match is very much on, they wrote. Along the border province, you can't kick a stone over with bad guys swarming out like ants and snakes and scorpions. You know what I'm saying? It's a very, it's a lengthy article, but this basically shows the failure, of the United States against, Afghanistan, even though it's been there over 20 years, man. But this also shows the fall and the decline of Babylon the Great, which is America, and you can see the fall of Esau, even so-called white man. The point is being made. You see the failure, in the devil's kingdom. I could bring out more scriptures, but there's no point of prolonging, the lesson, because you see it for yourself, and measure what it is, because this man's kingdom is going down, and you're seeing the kingdom of heaven, which is the top, which is the throne of David, is being set up in the spirit. But sooner or later, it's going to be manifest in the physical. And with that, I want to give all praise, glory, and honor due unto Yahweh, Shem Yahweh, Shalom.